Hello everyone, welcome back to another fun session with me. I am Sanyukta Saxena and hope you are enjoying the sessions today again. We are going to be drawing a beautiful Zendala tile. I am going to first draw a random string. So I have created kind of a droplet shape on one side of my tile and going to do that on all four. So this is the second, then comes the third and the last one here. Yes. So that's our string. Please don't bother about whether all sides are equal or not. You can do some corrections if you want while penning the string also. Yes. But first I'm going to be starting with an orb in the center. Yes. So I'm going to start with a tangle called Arukas. I'm adding a fine aura like this. Yes. This is a very thick pen. I'm switching to my O5. And now I'm going to be drawing some lines emanating from this center circle or orb. Right? Before that, let's do one more exercise. What I'm going to do is pen down my string. So while you are penning the string, you can, if you want, make some adjustments if you wish to. So as you can see, I'm making a few. Then again, you can start from here and go like this. And then again, you can start from here and go like this. Yes. Now, probably I'm going to add one more set of aura inside before I go ahead and extend my Arukas. Like this. Right. Now let us go ahead and draw further lines. So you can draw 4 or 6, whichever way, and how many, as many as you wish to. So I've added 5. Right. Now let us go ahead and extend our Arukas just the way it is usually done. I'm going to add my first layer of aura around the orb. Like this. If you want, you can double line it. I'll tell you why, because probably we can deck up our Arukas by adding beautiful patterns inside these sections also. Now I'm going to add one aura on each side of these rays or lines emanating from the center. Go slow, take your time. That's how the original Tangle Arukas goes. Again, a tangle which is all about auras, re-emphasizes the importance of auras in Zentangle. So we are alternatively auraing the circle and the lines emanating from the circle. Again, going back to the circle, adding an aura. I'm adding a double line aura so that we can add some beautiful patterns inside these also. Done with that, now comes the second layer. Whatever spaces are there, go with that. Draw behind. So in a way, we are also following the pursuit 12 days of Zentangle, drawing behind in our own ways. Drawing behind is of course a very important technique, a very integral part of the Zentangle method of drawing. So yes, we have done it for all. Then goes the next layer of auraing the circle. Whatever is visible, as much as is visible, just go with that. Yes, again an aura on both sides of each of the lines. Just follow the same process and build on your Arukas. It's a beautiful tangle to draw. And as I mentioned, re-emphasizes the importance of line work. I'm just going with whatever spaces I have, ignoring the string that comes in between. I think we have done it for all. Yes, I'm sorry for that. My throat is still not back to normal. Again, drawing behind. Take your time. Keep going. Yes, we have done it for all. Let's now continue adding the lines. Slowly take your time. Wherever you cannot draw complete, just draw behind. Let's add one or two more layers. So I am again auraing the circle as we do, alternatively auraing the circle and the radiations. That's all about the Tangle Arukas. Just that we added a little zen here by adding a string in between. Yes, and then again the same thing. If you want, you can extend the lines beyond the string also. We shall see that if we want to do that. And we have done it for all. Now we have these empty spaces. We can use these spaces for some other tangle. So let us start with the tangle called Knightsbridge. Right? I'm not going to put Knightsbridge in all the sections, but let's start with the tangle Knightsbridge. So I'm taking a cube from this shape and drawing my Knightsbridge grid in the same fashion. Yeah, now I'm going to add lines like these. Why I'm choosing Knightsbridge? Because till now there is no inking involved, right? So I want that drama on my tile. So I have started with the tangle Knightsbridge. Now I'm going to be inking alternate spaces just like a checkerboard, the way the original Tangle goes. You can switch your pens to an 08 and ink alternate spaces. Yes, so this will take a while. Take your time, slowly go to each of the alternate spaces, alternate squares, and ink them nicely. As I mentioned, you can use a bolder nib. Take your time, go slow, and do that exercise. Yes, I'm going to do exactly the same here also. So create a similar grid. And you can draw these lines here also. And then the second layer of lines. And then ink it. Yeah. I'm now inking the other side. Slowly take your time. Tangle Knightsbridge. Inspiration comes from the Knightsbridge area of London, where this pattern is seen very often. Every tangle has an inspiration behind it, and it has been carefully broken down into most elemental strokes so that everybody and anybody can draw it easily without any difficulty. And that's the magic of Zentangle. Now the other sections left, you may or may not go with drama tangles. Let's see. I am going to start with a fescue and do a tangle called Sandswirl, like this. Probably if there are in between spaces, we can ink it, which will add the much required drama. As many auras as you wish to. That is entirely your choice. Very tiny spaces in between here and there. Add that touch of ink like this. Again, going to add auras. The tangle is called Sandswirl. Keeping the number of auras to 4. Well, you can always vary the number of auras. That's not an issue at all. Like this. Go slow, take your time. Don't worry if the auras are not equidistant or the lines are shaky. That's okay. As I keep saying, certain things come with practice. There is no shortcut to that. Keep drawing a tile, at least one each day, and you see the magic happen. Some hidden ones here, very tiny spaces, add that touch of black. And that's it. Yes, let's do that for the other sections also if you want. Let's do it here. So I'm going to do exactly the same thing. So I've added 4 auras to my fescue, and the tangle is called Sandswirl. Slowly take your time. Draw behind. Gives you excellent shading opportunity. Drawing behind. Tiny spaces here and there. Just ink it. Like this. So there is one last section left here. So I'm going to do partly Sandswirls and partly Knightsbridge. Take your time. Some drawing behind. Have fun. Right? So done with Sandswirl, and this section I'm going to add Knightsbridge. Like this. So I'm done with adding my Knightsbridge and Sandswirls. Now let us come back to our Arukas. As I mentioned, we can first let us highlight these rays or line from where we started adding auras. So I'm just adding Knightsbridge here also to add a little more zen. Like this, you can add more. Yes. After doing this, now if you want to highlight your Arukas a little more, whole lot of tangles that you can choose from. Let's start with simple tangle like Doodah. Lines coming from both sides to about 3/4 of the distance. I'm using a fine nib here. My O1. Spaces are small. Take it easy. So that's Doodah. The next, you can add any tangle of your choice. Let's add some orbs. Squeeze in some orbs there. Fill up the small tiny intersectices in between at the same time as you draw the orb. Right, moving on next. So I'm going to add some echoism. Just like a chain. Slowly take your time. Whatever spaces you have, just go with that. Yes, then I'm going to add some Shattuck. Lines drawn at an angle. Whatever spaces we have. Just keep changing the direction of the lines as we do for Shattuck. And that's it. Yeah. And the last row, up to you. What do you want to add? Let's just add simple orbs or dots like these. And that's it. I think we are done. Yes, let us now move on to shading our tile. Starting first with our beautiful string, I'm just going to darken the edges. If you want, you can ink this also with a highlight. We shall see that later. Right now, I don't feel like inking it because we do have adjoining Knightsbridge. So I'm adding some graphite at the ends. And then blend it with a highlight in the center. Like this. Next, moving on here, so I'm going to highlight the inside section here. So add some thick graphite here so that it automatically gives a lift to my Arukas. So the dark sections would recede and automatically my Arukas would become the focus. Yes, like this. Slowly go to each of these sections. Add some thick graphite there. Blend it. Make sure you don't make the entire thing gray. Whites should also be visible. Like this. Let's do it for all. I will do exactly the same for my Knightsbridge also. However, here you don't need to add on the black. Just add on the whites. Like this. So I'm done shading these sections and you can see adding a little darkness. It dips into the background and my Arukas kind of comes up, starts to float on my tile. Yes. So next let us shade this center part. So I'm just going to leave a highlight and add some graphite at the edges. Yes. Blend it a little here and blend the ends and leave a white spot like this. So it looks like a droplet. Yes, a little darker at the bottom and a small highlight here. And the Arukas here, since the lines are kind of, we have tried to give a draw behind effect. I'm going to darken this place and add a shadow. Adding some thick graphite here. You can use the darker graphite pencil, the layout pencil if you have it, to give this kind of an effect, or you can use the gray watercolor pencil, which I do use often. Since we are giving an effect of the string being superimposed, so I'm darkening these sections. And I don't think we need to do anything else, but if you want, you can add a little graphite here. Not much, just a little bit. Spaces are small, so I don't want to add too much. Kind of highlighting the main stem a little. Doing that for all. A little shadow on both sides of the center stem. the main stems coming out of the Arukas. There's so many ways in which you can shade it, so just go with what you feel like at that point of time. That's what I am doing here. Yes, going with what I feel like at this point of time. So that's it. I don't think we need to shade more or do anything else. Our Arukas is already highlighted and this beautiful string kind of adds so much to its look. Yes, let's close our tile here. Put in your chop sitting somewhere cozily. Always sign and date your tile. I shall see you again with some more fun sessions. Till then, have a good time. Bye bye.